Hello and welcome back to another episode where we are playing Foundation in Bosco Verde. We find ourselves looking over the settlement that we built in the last episode, where we have our hop farms and some mining and some houses, and that's all we have over this side of the river so far, so we'll be hoping to expand that a little bit this episode. Another key thing I would like to do is to finish something we weren't able to complete last episode, which is to get some wine making on the go. And here is where we can unlock monastic winemaking, and what that means is that we'll be able to produce grapes, and we will also be given a winery, which we will need both grapes and barrels in order to actually produce the wine. And at the same time I will need to unlock this cooperage, which produces 1 barrel in exchange for 4 planks, 1 iron and 1 tool. So with that we can go over and edit our monastery and start building out our winery. I think there's going to be vines. I'm not sure if there's buildings included, but I kind of feel like up this hillside would look really good with a bunch of vines, so I'll probably build it over here. So we can add a new sub-building to this monastery. We've got both the vineyard and the winery. It's probably the wrong way around, but I'm actually going to go ahead and build the winery first because I think I want that somewhere down along here. And then I will add the other sub-building, which is going to be the vineyard. There we go, I'll go ahead and build all of those. And we were looking a little bit low on berries to make our berry brew with, so I've just gone around and built a few more berry huts as well in the meantime. And our winery has finished being built and is looking very good. Obviously they won't start making anything until they have their barrels and their grapes. Looks like this is in the process of being built as well, this vineyard. And it is indeed built now, and it has been populated with brothers and sisters. So let's go ahead and paint out a crop field for this. I'm not entirely sure how much space it's going to need. And the answer to my question was quite a lot of space. It looks like we could probably build one more vineyard over here in order to fit in some more vines, but that's probably about it for that area. But I will go ahead and build it now. And despite our very many wheat fields, we are running low on wheat, so I might go ahead and build out a few more of those too and expand the ones we've already got. And our other vineyard has also been built, so we can go ahead and paint out the crop field for that as well. There we go, I'm happy with how that looks. Hopefully they will start bringing the vines out soon so we can have a look at them. And of course, in order for this to work, we're also going to need to start producing barrels, which we have unlocked. And I will probably actually begin our barrel creation place, whatever you want to call it, over this side of the map, but we've got a little bit more space. So if we come down here to resource production and scroll along, we can see that we've got our cooperage, and that will cost us 300 coins to build, and I would like to come and build it over here. And the cooperage requires light fortification, so we're going to have to think about that, and that might mean that I actually go ahead and build this first one somewhere inside our city walls. I also know there'll be lots of housing free for the people who work in the cooperage to live nearby. And the other thing these vineyards are probably going to need once they start collecting the grapes is a granary to store the grapes in. And it looks like our cooperage has been built where we're going to be able to create barrels, so I will go ahead and employ 3 people there and probably immediately promote them to citizens, or at least commoners, because I know they live in a place where they can get easy access to citizen housing. And our monastic grange has been built, so we can go ahead and store grapes in here. Looks like we are fully employed, so we may have to build out our dormitories a little bit more. There we go, and it looks like that will add a capacity of 32 monks, which is probably plenty. So I'll go ahead and apply those changes and also begin a mandate to welcome the monks to our monastery. And we'll need a place to store these barrels once they've been built, so I'll go ahead and put them over here. And whilst we are now producing wine and beer, I think it could also be an idea to expand our kind of berry brewery and berry brew production. The brewers are citizens, so that it does need to be located near citizen housing, but I think I could expand this tavern to be across the road and maybe have a brewery come down here, and then they'll probably be able to live in this kind of desirable citizen housing. So I'll go ahead and edit this building to include a berry brewery. There we go, and I think that looks pretty good for a berry brewery, so I will go ahead and build all of that. And it looks like our iron is currently holding us back a bit. We are using it for more and more things as we build more and more different building types. For example, it's being used in our cooperage for barrels, it's being used in our candle workshop, and it's being used in our common wares workshop. So I am going to go ahead and try and build out a few more iron smelters, and part of the problem they might be having is getting a hold of enough iron ore, so I'll see if I can do a bit to extract some more iron ore where I can as well. So I'll come down here to resource production and find my iron smelter. Now it is a pollutive building, so I will need to bear that in mind. And I will build a couple over in this corner, where we are relatively near our new source of iron deposit, and we've got loads of coal right now, so I'll just have to transport the coal over here, but I don't think that'll be too much of a problem. And I'll probably go ahead and build 2 or even 3 of these to try and just bump our production up quite a lot. And I've tried to build them all at slightly different angles so they don't just look like the same building placed 3 times next to each other. And luckily there is actually a tiny little source of iron right here, so we could go and build a little iron mining camp just next to these buildings in order to bump up the sort of raw resource they're able to get out of here as well. And there is even another little iron resource just here, so I'll build this iron mining camp close to our other pollutive buildings, and they can commute to that rock from there. And our first little iron mining camp is ready, so we can give him a couple of miners, and they should have loads of spaces to build their homes, yeah, all the way down here, so they shouldn't be lacking in any way for nearby housing. And one of our iron smelters has also been built, so we can go ahead and add a couple of people in here, and I'm happy to promote them to commoners because there is a fair amount of housing in beautification areas available here already. Oh, and it looks like our new brewery has also been built and is going to be ready for some people to come and work in here. Very happy with how this is looking. This is quite a cool little high street now. And these brewers prefer to be citizens, so I'll go ahead and promote them. There should be plenty of space for them to live nearby, so I'm not too worried about them not having somewhere to live. And while we've got a bit of spare money, I may as well go ahead and buy a few tiles I think we might want in the future. And I think I'm going to go for this one so that we can get to this one where the new resources that we're prospecting are. And I've just put 2 more miners in this iron mining camp, and I've also got room to add 2 more smelters now that this iron smelter has been built. And it looks like our last iron smelter is also ready now to have some employees put in there. And I'll make extra sure that these houses are in the beautification area. Oh, and they also want a paved road, which we can do. So I'll go and add a few plants. And I will also go and paint out a road paving area for this road along here. And for the last part of this episode, I'm going to try and get on top of the needs for the people over this side of the map before they get on top of me, and that means building one of each item you might expect to be in a settlement. So that would be a small manor house so we can collect tax and have patrollers, a tavern, and a church. So I'm going to go ahead and build all of those things. And I'm pretty happy with that church, so I'm going to go ahead and build all of that. And now I will also go ahead and build a small manor house in this spot here. And I will go ahead and unlock the manor house city architecture so that we might use that in our new manor house as well. There we go, and now our manor house is ready to be built. We are in a bit of a tight money spot at the moment, which is slightly confusing, considering we've been in a pretty good spot for most of the episode, so I'm not sure why that is, but I'll just keep ploughing on. And now we can also go ahead and build a small tavern on this side of town. There we go, and I'm pretty happy with that for our tavern over this side of town, so we'll go ahead and build that. And we can go ahead and assign a couple of tax collectors. And they will also want to be promoted to citizens. And we can also populate our patrollers and our watchmen. And after all that building, we are running a little bit low on wood, so I will come and find a forest for us to deforest. And I will leave this episode here looking over the expansion that we have started over this new side of the map. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.